in the corner.
It shows that it's recording.
Live.
Okay, then it's live.
So is it recording?
I guess.
Okay.
I hope so. Okay. Good morning, and welcome to Northern Lights Spiritual Center. I'm Reverend Mykal Amaré. I was going to say Von Amaré, but that's not true. I'm Reverend Mykal Amaré, one of the co-senior ministers here at Northern Lights. I'm joined with Reverend Von Amaré this morning, and Reverend Pamela, who is the founder. She is on Zoom with us, along with some other congregants. And Northern Lights Spiritual Center is a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create the lives we want to live. Northern Lights Spiritual Center also offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. And this morning, seeing Reverend Vaughn's voice isn't very, very good, we're going to use the audio sound in this very room, and those of you that know it can sing along, and those of you who don't can be sung too. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. Your spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room.
So this morning's reading comes from the Sides of Mind magazine, and it's done by a practitioner, Steph Swink. It's called Stay Awake to Sustain Our Planet. I'm so upset about what we're doing to the earth. I can't believe people in power are ignoring what's happening and not making changes to save the planet. How can humans be so short-sighted and selfish? I'm angry and heartbroken. I recycle and I try to use less plastic, but it's so overwhelming. Prayer doesn't seem like enough. How can I stay awake and not feel hopeless? Being awake and being in alignment with your values is the way out of hopelessness. Stay with your difficult feelings long enough for them to propel you into deeper commitment. Making environmentally friendly choices, even when they are inconvenient or your neighbor is not doing them, will empower you, thereby impacting and inspiring others. The precious state of our planet is becoming more widely acknowledged. However, most people are so focused on their individual needs, they are deafened to the call to act globally. Our home is on fire. We need to wake up in time to put it out. Please keep praying, and as our founder Ernest Holmes said, move your feet. This world needs courageously conscious people like you to honor and sustain it. Transferring blame and responsibility outside of ourselves is part of the problem. The people of power you spoke of are you and me, energetically saying no thank you to foam or insulating on pesticides or insisting on pesticide-free plants is not poison pollination makes a difference. In the book, Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins writes, in this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our own private world improves the world at large for everyone. We all add to our common buoyancy by efforts to benefit life. It is a scientific fact that what is good for you is good for me, and is good for the planet too. The enormous challenge of avoiding ecological collapse requires each of us to individualize the mission, purpose, and value of Centers for Spiritual Living to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation, and to awaken humanity to the spiritual magnificence. Our spirit, our vision, is a world that works for everyone. This is our evolutionary call, and I affirm we are answering it, and so it is.
Woke up this morning.
Now we're going to hear Woke Up This Morning because, as you can hear, my voice is a little on the raspy side. So please join in with Woke Up This Morning.
No, I don't care. I'm just using the voice anyway.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Well, I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. Well, all day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. All day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
And now the pre-talk song is by Reverend Andy Anderson. And it's called Life with Passion.
Wake up and behold a brand new day before me. Excited to experience this day that God has made. I let love and joy go before me, go before me. And see the world as one. I give myself to what's in front of me. Don't hold nothing back, just keep looking straight ahead. With spirit at my on rolling. Allow my full attention to express the truth of me. I choose to go forth in a bold and brand new way. I'm never blinded by the events that surround me and surround me. I'm never started by the flaws of yesterday. I just continue to give to what's in front of me. I never hold nothing back, just keep looking straight ahead. With spirit as my guide, release joy from inside, force my way, force my way. Live my life with passion, and let the good times just keep on rolling. Every day I live my life with passion, and let the good times just keep on rolling. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, Live your life with passion, and let the good times just keep on rolling. Oh, just live your life with passion, and good times just keep on rolling. I'll live my life with passion, and let the good times just keep on rolling. Oh, just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Just keep on rolling. Oh, just keep on rolling.
Okay, that was Reverend Andy Anderson, and welcome to the final Sunday in April already. Today's talk title is called Fire in the Belly. And just, what the definition of fire in the belly is: the emotional stamina and vigor, the passion or the inner drive to achieve something. It's an insatiable drive, something that is within us, and something that at one point in your life, or many points, there's something that is so powerful inside that you just have to do it. We're in they've just completed the 4th day of Ramadan. And Ramadan is where they fast from sunrise to sunset. No food, no water, no sex. And also they try to refrain from gossiping, lying, and all these other good things that we as humans tend to do. It's a time of reflection, a time of revelation, a time of revolution and restoration. It's also a rededication of one's life to spirit. And it's a way to restart and I think reform and rededicate yourself to spiritual practice. And by doing this fasting, what they believe is it's a cleansing of one's mind from all distractions. Because if you think about it, food is rather distracting. It can be, if you're focusing on it, like what you're going to have for dinner, what you're going to have for lunch, or where, I know my husband, at one point in time in ministerial school, another classmate and I, we would talk about food and stuff, and he's kind of like, it's really no big deal. Because growing up as a child diabetic, food was not really a high priority because there was a lot of food he could not have. So it really wasn't high on his list. So this getting rid of some of these distractions, it allows us to what they think is purify and focus the mind. So you're focusing on something altogether different. You're focusing more on actually spiritual practice of releasing these things, and they're doing it for roughly 12 hours a day. And fasting is done in most faiths. That's a hard one to say. Like the Christians, they do it at Lent, like giving up something. Some people give up something that is very, very dear to their hearts. Like some people would say chocolate would be very dear to your heart. And then others just give something up, that's very trivial, that, is meaningless, but they just to give something up. In Science of Mind, if we were to fast, we would want to try giving up something like our self-damaging thoughts. Try to do that for 40 days. I'm not sure a lot of us could make that. Or one day, or even 1 minute. And maybe do this to make a clean break and all these things that we've been hanging on to, all those practices that we have done that no longer serve us, and start something new. And right now, during this period of what do you want to call it? This we're in, it is actually a great time to do something like that. To refocus on what is important in our lives. What is something that stirs that fire in our belly, that passion. Because that it's a thing that we all have, and we've had several different times probably in our lives. And sometimes we deny that passion, we deny doing it because other people say, well, you can't do that, or all those negative things that come around with that. We need to follow through and actually follow through on that passion. And that, because that is a fulfillment of life. And to me, the passion, the fire in the belly, helps us move through life and helps us to fulfill our desires, our needs, our wants, and in this life. Because if we don't do it, we're cheating ourselves. And if we're cheating ourselves, we're cheating the rest of humanity. Because we are here to give our gift. Even if our gift is just to be here. It doesn't have to be something grandiose or earth-shattering to you, but it may be to someone else. Some little thing that you do may just awaken someone and just a whole different change in their life. Whether it is large or small makes no difference. It's like in the Bible with the woman that gave only 1 cent. It was where it came from. That's one thing that's always struck me is so many institutions, religious or otherwise, they focus so much on the amount of money that is given. They want more money, or they need more money. Yet, some people, they don't have the money to give. But what they give, it comes from their heart. It comes from that passion, that desire that they have to give what they can give. We are all made of the divine. So we're always connected to that divine. We can never be disconnected from the divine and therefore from our divine purpose. And we may never know exactly what our divine purpose is. That's why if we have that fire, if there's something that's calling us, something that's really pushing us hard, pushing us forward, we need to follow through with that. Because odds are that is probably part of your divine purpose here on this earth. And therefore, we are not separated from our divine purpose, even if we don't know exactly what it is. Our being, our existence is proof that we are here to do our good. Our existence, just being here. Because we're here on purpose. It's not an accident that each of us are here, and that each of us are here at this time. Because we're here and we're fulfilling something that no one else can do. Only each of us can do individually what we were meant to do. No one else can do that. No one else can be myself. No one else can be Reverend Pamela. No one else can be Reverend Vaughn. No one else can be anybody else. You're here on purpose as you, as a divine expression, bringing your gifts to this world. And our presence here is that gift. And just by being here may be all that is needed. So if we listen to that fire in our belly, and we connect to that fire, sometimes we may have to sit and question it and ponder it, and that's why the spiritual practice of contemplation is extremely powerful, because you can sit and you can contemplate and okay, something has come up, and this thing that's come up, you don't quite understand it. It is not clear. So what you could do is you can sit and ponder it and question it. And if something comes up and you don't understand, and say, I need a little more information. And I may need a little more information. So you can always question this thing that's come up. I've had things that came up that I never expected in my life. As for instance, like going in to be a practitioner. That was probably one of the last things on my list to come up. And then when ministry came, I wouldn't speak it out loud. Because I know what happens when you speak things out loud. When it comes through, then it is like, okay, wham, it's done. You still have to go through all the steps and everything, but when we speak it, it is done. That's just like in when we're talking about treatment, we a lot of times refer to that fire that's within us, that fire that is necessary to bring about a demonstration. Sometimes people ask us, well, do I, just do a treatment once and that's it? Maybe. Sometimes it is. And other times, you may have to repeat that treatment. And every time you repeat it, it's not because it's coming from within you. And we're never the same. Each time we speak something, we can read something over and over again, and somehow we're going to read, it's going to be different. The words may all be the same, but our inflection, our tone of voice, which I guess is inflection, is going to change. Because when I notice something, and I read it again, there's always something new in there. I love it when something pops out and I'll say, well, that wasn't there before. I remember in AA studying the step 3. And we're in a small group, and first of all, we go around reading parts of it, and then we discuss it. And I'm listening to this, and I'm going, that wasn't in there before. And it's just where we are in that moment, what strikes us. And so that's the same with that fire and that listening to that I guess call, because we are each perfect emanation of the divine, co-creating with the divine to make our mark in the world. We are in choice each and every day. So when we wake up in the morning, we're at choice too whether we want to get out of bed, first of all. What's going to happen that day? How are we going to be? I mean, I wake up some mornings and I'm grumpy. But that doesn't mean I have to be grumpy all day long. We have that choice when we start out each day, how we're going to show up in the world. And like I said, it can change during the day, because we change during the day. And I read this article online. It's called the Hustler's Playbook, Fire in Your Belly. And I just want to read one portion of it, because I found it it describes the difference between a hustler and a non-hustler, and whatever your definition of a hustler is. It says, hustlers have a fire in their belly. They have a burning desire, roaring like a fire inside them. They can't not take action. This is why they don't need someone to motivate them. No one ever has asked a hustler to do the work that will produce the results they need. No one ever has to ask them to make the call or have the uncomfortable conversation they have. That fire consumes any fear they might have had. I like that fire consumes all any fear. Because sometimes we do not act on things, we don't act on that fire, act on that passion because of fear. Because of fear that will fail. Because of fear that what someone else will say. Fear really sometimes totally consumes us, and that's to me a sad thing. And in the end, they said, finding your fire. If you don't yet have this fire in your belly, you need to spend time working on discovering the real purpose. That one thing that gives your life meaning and allows you to make the contribution you are here to make. Once you find this, you will feel the spark. Once you find that spark, we'll all build a roaring fire by fanning the flames. And I really like that, because, you know, sometimes we can share with people our dreams and our aspirations, and they can, you know, some people will poo-poo it, and others will, like it says, fan the flames, raise you up, lift you up. And that's what I found is sometimes you have to be careful who you share these things with. Because you know those people in your life that are going to support you. And that's one good thing about community. That's one thing I appreciate about Northern Lights. Because when we're in-person services on Sunday, we have a thing called Community Share. And to me that is a very powerful and intimate thing. We're not a large congregation. We're what Reverend Pamela calls a teacup congregation. And the people that come are willing to share in front of everyone else, asking for prayer and support. And I find that so powerful. The trust that we have here in each other. And that is why you need to choose who you share your passion with. Now in Ramadan again, the illustration of your belly, often what calls us to rise up to do an even greater good in our lives is calling to right a wrong. Sometimes we've done something wrong, and you know, for me, there's some things in my life that I'm not proud of. And I know through the process and the 12 steps of many 12-step programs, of doing an inventory and then, make amends for these errors that we've made. Because we're all human. At least I think we are. And we do make mistakes. We make errors. And sometimes when I don't make those amends, it lays there and it gnaws at me. I've shared this before, but when I was on second shift at Boeing, I was a lead, and I kind of let somebody have it, which I don't really like to do. However, it bothered me probably an hour. Finally, I went back to the guy and I said, I need to apologize. Not necessarily for what I said, but how I said it. And that's why a lot of times I will go into the silent mode. You can ask our youngest daughter. Because I don't want to blurt out something in anger. And that's why sometimes I need to right these wrongs, and like part of this doing a greater good, and it calls for if it calls to you. I mean, some people, and then the guy that I was apologizing to said I didn't think anything of it. Well, I did actually more for me, because it was really bothering me, and that a lot of times when you make these amends or try to right these wrongs, the people that you're apologizing to really didn't, take it seriously. So the recognition, recognition can create a fire in the belly by righting this wrong, because that's freeing you up. That's taking that little, what I call the piranha that's eating away at your insides, and letting it go somewhere else. Because you don't really need that in your life. I mean, who really needs a little piranha eating inside? I sure as heck don't. And this is a great desire to remedy, to contribute, to be part of the good of the solution for an issue around us. It's amazing, this fire in the belly, this passion, this calling, this. I know, for one thing, when anything ever comes up and it's semi-serious or whatever, I always know where it's going to hit. It's actually going to hit in my belly, because that's the place that I'm affected by it. And other people are affected in different other parts of their body. But this fire, I know I just try to imagine this fire there. It's just sparking and taking off and just growing and growing and growing. And then you reach out and you step out out of that fear, out of that anxiety, because the fear and the anxiety is what hold us back so much in our lives. And we're not fulfilling our purpose here if we're held back by fear. And that's what's going on, in the I can say it, in the world today, is there's a lot of fear, and justifiably so. But there's things that we can do, ways to communicate with people, even by being, like there's one commercial on TV, because they have several actors and whatever doing different things. They said, just because you're alone, you don't have to be lonely. And so there's so many things that you can do. You can reach out to others. Like, for instance, we're doing this service on Zoom and Facebook. And you can reach out to people and connect. It definitely is not the same. But I have seen so many things that actually bring me joy of people together, like they've done these Zoom choirs and different things, and it's just heartwarming how they can do that. And then you see some other things that are heartbreaking. If we have that fire, act on it. Don't hold back. Excuse me. Don't hold back. Life is too short and too valuable to hold back from that thing that you desire the most, that fire that is roaring inside of you. I saw this spiritual practice the other day online, and I thought this is a new one, and it's I think it's a good one. And so this is going to be like somebody else that speaks here, Stephanie, our practitioner, homework. So the first step is to stop. Just stop what you're doing and take a step back. Take in a deep breath. Bring it down in. And you may have to do more than one, and that is to ground yourself. Grounding is such an important thing to do. And then you let the breath rise. Rise from the grounding into your heart. And then let your heart open. Because your heart cannot open when you're filled with that anxiety and fear. So just stopping and stepping back, taking 1, 2, 3, how many deep breaths it may take to ground yourself, and then let that breath go from the grounding up into your heart. Because your heart cannot be open when it's filled with fear and anxiety. So that is the thing we need to release. Let go of that fear and anxiety. Not let it drive us, because it can only do harm. It can only hold us back. And then that fire in the belly is just there burning. It's not out there. It's not doing. And so I want to close with the affirmation for the day, and I will send this out. Well, I'll read it, and then we'll do it 3 times, if you can remember it. It's not very long. I renew my life's purpose each and every day by allowing the fire in my belly to guide what is mine to do in the world. I renew my life's purpose each and every day by allowing the fire in my belly to guide what is mine to do in the world. I renew my life's purpose each and every day by allowing the fire in my belly to guide what is mine to do in this world. And lastly, I renew my life's purpose each and every day by allowing that fire in my belly to guide what is mine to do in this world. And so it is. Thank you all.
You might want to say something to the Facebook people.
Thank you all, Facebook people. Have a good week, and thanks for joining.